What's up, Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. It's a game that not many of us were expecting when the announcement trailer came out a while ago, or the teaser image, I should say. A lot of us were looking forward to a Virtua Fighter 6. Virtua Fighter Final Showdown actually got rid of a lot of the things that we loved about the original Virtua Fighter. And when I say we, I'm just talking mainly in general about me personally and those of my friend group. Every one of you, I understand, has different reasons for playing different things, and there's definitely good reasons in there, and I will actually address some of those because I've talked to some people in my community and they've expressed their feelings about it, so I wanted to make that known as well. But when I tell the video Ultimate Letdown, what I mean is an expectations versus reality type of situation. So expecting a Virtua Fighter 6 and then getting another rehash of Virtua Fighter 5, which came out in like 2006. This is like the yet third iteration that we've received of this game. And it's almost like, at least I always harp on Street Fighter for doing the same thing, right? But at least they add a ton of content with every new iteration of the game. And it's not like this is a free game anyway. Like, I mean, people often cite that for PlayStation Plus, it's available for free. That's not really free because you have to pay for the subscription service. I know you have to have that to utilize online. But the fact of the matter is, if you lose internet for some reason, or you simply can't afford Plus for like a month or two, you're not going to be able to play that game. It's just going to be locked. So if you want the full experience of the game, it actually costs $20 on PlayStation Network, and it also has a bundle with the DLC that's day one that locks a lot of the content behind a paywall, which is $9.99 in of itself. Now, they bundle it together for $29.99. It's not saving you any money. This is just the price that everyone is going to have to pay outside of PlayStation Plus. I'm not sure if this is going to be coming to Xbox's service with the same kind of free-to-play jump-in feature, but for now, we only know that it's for PlayStation pretty much, and it's been out. I've been playing a bit of it here and there. To be honest, I've never been a huge Virtua Fighter fan off the jump. Like, I've played all of them, I own all of them, but I mean, it's probably like my least favorite fighter. A lot of people often come to me with rhetoric such as, well, it's the most grounded fighter, it's the most reality-based fighter, when in actuality, it's really not. Yeah, it doesn't have all the flashy supers and counter techniques and things that some other of the fighters have in current day, but and have always been, really. But the fact is that real martial arts is not about like doing the same kind of parry over and over again, so you're not going to get like the same kind of actual simulation that you want anyway. The most realistic fighting I've seen in the game is probably like the UFC series. If you're doing actual martial arts, they're not like motion capture or anything like that. They're not doing like actual like styles. It's you know what I mean? It's just like a more grounded form from what people are usually contextualizing when they talk about fighters. So I can kind of understand that point. And if that's the reason you like it, that's fine. I know I like it because of nostalgia, 100%. Like, I mean, like, I played it way back in the day, and it's always stuck around. And there's reasons that I've gotten into in the past video about the reasons good and the bad about it. Like, I talk about boring character design and things of that nature. But I just want to focus on the game as it stands now, as it's been presented to us. So sure, you download it for free for PlayStation Plus. The first thing you're going to notice when you boot up the game is that the customization is locked. When you go over to the gray customization button, it is locked. There were tons of items before. I know they actually, from the arcade mode, they locked out some from Console 5, and then 5 locked out some further from Final Showdown. And it seems now that it's been neutered even further, but that will become available when you pay for the $10 DLC, regardless whether you actually bought the game for $20 or if you downloaded it for free. That DLC is $10. The $10 gives us a lot of stuff. There's like 2,000 costumes. There's a bunch of different things that are involved in that. There's stages and things of that nature. It's pretty much bringing it up to par to Final Showdown, if I'm being totally honest. It's not exactly an ideal scenario for that either. I will bring up the list right now and show you exactly what it has. The Legendary Pack contains character customizations of all 2,000 types, character costumes, 19 types, original Virtua Fighter 5 character models, which we've seen in the preview of it, Virtua Fighter stages, Virtua Fighter Battle UI, Virtua Fighter background music, and spectator stamps for when you're in like spectator mode and stuff like that. The biggest thing that's missing to me is probably quest mode. Outside of character creation, like I really liked quest mode. It's kind of like, it's not as in depth as something like Chronicles of the Sword or something of that nature, but it's definitely got some fun to be had there. And it just added some single player gameplay value to the game that it doesn't really have, because right now if you want to play the game, you're pretty much doing versus, and then later on tournament mode is going to be unlocked in a future update. Now, if I was going to shill for the company, I'd say they have plenty of time to do future DLC and things of that nature. But of course, with their business model that we're showing right now, day one, a lot of this stuff that was in the original game is locked behind a $10 paywall. You can be sure that they're going to charge us money for those. Don't get it twisted. You could always say that, yeah, they had to rework the engine from the ground up using the Yakuza Dragon engine, and that's why, like, it's so bare bones. But to me, that's an excuse. Like, I feel like this is literally just, like, keeping the series in people's minds until Virtua Fighter 6 is ultimately coming out. That's what I feel like they're really doing. They're working on a Virtua Fighter 6, and which will come out on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and probably PC. That's what I'm like looking at right now. Like, I think that's exactly what this is. It's kind of like a quick cash grab to be like, hey, remember this exists. It's a 2006 game. Whether it's got the Dragon engine or not, it still feels like a 2006 game to me. The gameplay mechanics have not been updated that much. You can call them grounded. Some of them are extremely slow and monotonous, and unless you really get into the technical aspects of the character, for casuals, this is going to be a pretty boring play and drop experience. Now, I'm not going to delete it. I'm probably actually going to purchase the $10 customization pack, just because I do like the game. I can't explain why I like it. There's some kind of feel to it that I guess is tied to my childhood that makes me actually want to play it. Even though the adult side of my brain is like constantly yelling at me just to drop it and play fighters that I actually like. And this is not to say that I'm harping on anybody's decision to actually want to play the game. If you want to play the game, like, more power to you. Like, I hope that it has a better player base. I hope that it's got a huge player base. My only dismay with this is that making it free for PlayStation Plus gets new players into the door, yes. But with a lack of modes and a lack of things to keep people occupied, they're going to drop the game, like, super quickly. Like, there's no quest mode. You can't unlock Doral, which Doral was actually playable in the original. And in certain modes or certain versions of the game, they've cut her out. I don't understand it, but they've done it again. And, you know, if they brought this back, it's the moniker that really gets me. The ultimate showdown that's attached to it. What about this game is ultimate? Like, what difference between this and Final Showdown is there, really, besides, like, the Dragon engine and the tournament mode? I really don't know. Like, I mean, like, if I hear Ultimate, I expect, you know, new characters, new features, more customization options, more modes, not less. Like, Ultimate to me has never meant less, especially being as confusing as coming after Final Showdown, which is another confusing moniker since we already have something again after the final. I mean, Street Fighter's guilty of doing this too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is only Sega and this is only Virtua Fighter, and Sega is mainly just a publisher now. They don't really, you know, do that much outside of like what they know. So their wheelhouse is this, and I get it. I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna have fun with the game occasionally, but I mean, my main fighters, I'm just gonna constantly go back to, like, you know, Fighters and Mortal Kombat 11, Aftermath, and Tekken 7, like, I'm just gonna keep going back to them. I mean, mainly, actually, more than them, I play the older games anyway. Like, I'm usually on Soul Calibur 3, or Soul Edge, or I'm playing, like, Tekken 5 or Tekken Tag 1, because of the bowling. So, there's a lot of, like, aspects to this game that I like, and there are some upsides. I believe the director of the game, Seiji Aoki, did an interview and said the Legendary Pack will launch right alongside the new game, Aoki said. The pack includes over 2,000 customization options and a ton of classic content that celebrates the history of the Virtua Fighter series, including retro UI, stages, and alternate costumes, never before released background music, and from the previous games in the series, all the original classic character models from the first Virtua Fighter, which you can use as special costumes. As for additional post-launch content, there will be plenty of items and features that we wanted to add but didn't make it in time for launch. We hope to share those details in the future. That's like the most important thing to me, is we hope to have those things in at launch, but we didn't have enough time. Like, I mean, it's been like 2013 was Final Showdown, so it's been like, I don't know, man, a long time, 7, 8 years. So it's not like they've been working on this consistently. Like, it probably came to fruition that they're working on 6 and they're like, all right, the new consoles are out, boys. What's going to get people's minds and heads talking about Virtua Fighter? I know, let's throw out Ultimate Showdown, and we will have them playing the game and anticipating a future update, and then we'll slap them with 6 when it comes out. I'm just hoping that when 6 does come out, dude, that we actually have some, like, modes to play. Like, people complain about Soul Calibur 6 lacking modes, but dude, this is like, it's like less than the arcade experience. You jump in there and all you can do is verse and like go online. I don't know, to me that doesn't sound very ultimate. But what about you? Has this game been the ultimate showdown or the ultimate letdown? Let me know in the comment section down below. Any and all thoughts are always welcome. Of course, you can give me these thoughts on the Discord. Please join the Discord. There's a lot of us on there already, and that's where I host a lot of the fun stuff. And we do a lot of other things that you don't know about on the channel, like we have anime watch parties and things of that nature. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you again for watching, and as always, I love it. Thank you, and thank you.